Welcome, listener. Today we're taking a deep dive into two really transformative technologies, augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR.
Mm-hmm.
They're often grouped under this umbrella term, extended reality, or XR. And honestly, they're setting the stage for what a lot of people are calling the next era of spatial computing.
Right, where digital information isn't just stuck on our screens anymore.
Exactly. It's integrated, interactive,
Yeah.
within our actual 3D world. So our mission here is to kind of cut through the hype,
Yeah.
unpack the core ideas, look at where things stand now, and explore what's next. Basically, give you a shortcut to understanding this space because it's moving fast.
And it's fascinating timing, too. This market seems to be at a real inflection point. Forecasts are projecting just huge growth. We're talking, around $40 billion in 2024?
Yeah.
Projected to maybe over $300 billion by the early 2030s. It's explosive.
That's massive. Okay, so let's unpack this idea you mentioned, the virtuality continuum.
Sure.
Think of it like a spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stretching from the completely real world over to a completely virtual one.
Mm-hmm. With blends in between.
Right. So at one end, we have augmented reality, AR. For those of you following XR, you know this one. It's about enhancing your existing real world.
Yeah, like those fun social media filters people use.
Totally. Or Pokemon Go, that was huge. Or even the IKEA Place app, where you can see how furniture looks in your room before buying. It's layering digital stuff onto your view.
Exactly. Then, in contrast, you've got virtual reality, VR. This creates a completely new, fully immersive, computer-generated world. It basically replaces your perception of reality for a bit.
And you experience that through a headset.
Yeah, right.
Blocks out everything else.
Yeah, blocks external light, stimuli. Think intense games like Beat Saber, or really critical applications like surgical training or pilot simulations where that total immersion is crucial.
Okay, and this is where I think it gets really interesting. Mixed reality, Minar. That sort of bridges the two.
It does. It allows digital objects not just to overlay, but to actually interact with your physical environment.
Like a virtual ball bouncing off my real desk?
Precisely that kind of thing. And XR, extended reality, that's just the big umbrella term covering all of these experiences. AR, VR, MR, the whole spectrum.
Gotcha.
And the market, you can really see it pivoting now towards MR and also those see-through AR glasses.
Okay.
You see it with Meta's Quest headsets dominating.
Mm-hmm.
They do both VR and have pass-through for mixed reality. And you also see the rise of these dedicated AR companies like XRL.
Makes sense. So how do they actually do it? How do they trick our brains into feeling present in, a fake world, with VR specifically?
Well, it's a few key things working together. There's stereoscopic vision, basically showing a slightly different image to each eye. That creates the depth.
Right, like 3D movies.
Sort of, yeah. Then there's motion parallax. That's the effect where things closer to you seem to move faster than things farther away when you move your head.
Okay, yeah, like looking out a train window.
Exactly. And spatial audio is huge, too, making sounds feel like they're coming from specific locations around you. All these things together create that sense of really being there.
It's clever stuff.
But the whole tech stack, hardware, software, everything is constantly fighting against latency.
Latency, that's the delay, right, between moving your head and the picture updating.
Exactly. That motion to photon latency. It has to be incredibly low, under 20 milliseconds is the target.
Wow, 20 milliseconds.
Yeah. Any more than that, and you start to feel unwell. That cyber sickness people talk about. So driving that latency down is a massive focus for innovation. It has to feel real time.
Okay, that technical challenge makes sense. So moving beyond gaming, where are these technologies really making a difference today, like profound impact?
Well, healthcare is a big one. You have AR systems like the 3Vision spine system. It overlays a 3D model of the patient's spine onto the surgeon's view during the operation.
Guiding the instruments.
Precisely. Incredible precision. And VR is used, too, for things like pain management. There's a famous example. The Snow World game helps distract burn patients during really painful wound care.
Wow.
And high-stakes training, of course. Surgical training platforms like Oso VR are becoming quite established.
And we mentioned IKEA earlier in retail, that try before you buy using AR.
Yeah, apps like IKEA Place, they've genuinely changed things, letting you visualize items in your actual home. And it's proven to reduce product returns, which is huge for retailers.
That's a tangible benefit.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, you see the value of AR and VR really shines in areas where the cost of a real-world mistake is super high.
Like surgery, like you said. Or maybe military pilot training.
Exactly. In those cases, investing in immersive training or guidance systems makes complete sense. It can prevent catastrophic, expensive errors. It's not just cool tech, it's a critical tool.
That really puts the investment into perspective. Okay, so with all this potential, what's holding it back from being, everywhere? What are the main hurdles for mainstream adoption?
There are still some significant barriers. Hardware cost is one. Good headsets aren't cheap yet. User comfort is another. Some headsets are still pretty bulky, and motion sickness is still an issue for some people. And there's what people call the content bottleneck, just not quite enough must-have apps or experiences yet to make everyone feel like they need one.
Okay, those are practical things, but beyond that, there's this other layer, isn't there? The data. These devices collect a lot of personal data.
Oh, absolutely. Really sensitive, super personal data. We're talking eye tracking, facial expressions, potentially even 3D maps of your home, your private spaces.
Yeah, that's a whole different level of data collection compared to, say, a smartphone. It raises some big questions.
Definitely.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it feels like XR isn't just about games or shopping. It's really transforming whole industries, setting the stage for this spatial computing future. And it seems like AI, 5G, even blockchain are converging to drive it forward.
And that convergence brings us right to the core ethical challenge, doesn't it? This fundamental tension between hyper-personalization, which makes these experiences amazing, and privacy.
Right.
The very data that makes XR so powerful and seamless is exactly what makes it potentially so invasive. It's a real dilemma. Yeah.
So maybe the thought to leave everyone with is this. As these immersive worlds get smarter, more personalized, more deeply integrated into our lives, how do we make sure they also stay trustworthy, safe, and fair for everyone? Something to think about until our next deep dive.